How you guys doing today? Thank you guys again for joining us for another stock talk. We're going to give it a couple minutes. I just sent out the link for all those that are in the GroupMe application as well as the Facebook group. The link is going to be down below so you guys can join us for free on Facebook. So again, Techbud Solutions is a group that I pretty much teach, the basics of or the fundamentals of trading penny stocks and also investing, as well as it's a peer-to-peer networking group. So it's been helpful for a lot of our members. Right now we're about at 264 members, and this is within a 7-month span. So it's gotten way bigger than I've expected, and overall I'm just really excited for everything that's been going on within the group. The past week I've been trading a little bit more like by myself. So I haven't been sharing everything that I've been trading, and it seems like I've kind of just not grown apart from you guys, but I kind of just wanted you guys not to have to rely on me when it comes to making your trades. And I'm gonna do it in a different way. I just felt like some people were just asking what to like hop on, and that's not what I want TechBuds to be. I don't want TechBuds to be a group where I have thousands of members and they only trade what I trade and they sell at what I sell, because you're not learning. The whole idea is learning what it is that I'm looking for. We have a lot of members that know more than I do and discover new stocks. So I'm going to touch base and specifically only the questions that I've been asked. And I was asked quite a bit of questions, so I'm going to go according to the list. If you guys have any questions you guys want to ask me that I could answer during this live stream, message me through Facebook, message me through the GroupMe application, or if you have my number, text me through there. Any social media application that you guys might have me on. I have my phone here. I have the GroupMe, and yeah. So let me just touch base on the GroupMe. Is really helpful because it kind of exposes members on stocks that are kind of hot right now, as well as kind of what to look for. So we've created 3 different groups. There's a technical analysis feed, which is pretty much just technical analysis that we analyze a stock in, as well as we have the Techbud Solutions just GroupMe, which is the main group where we just have our general talks, as well as the pre-market. So I want to make sure that we're utilizing these groups and these feeds properly, and make sure that when we're talking on technical analysis, that we do our technical analysis and then we can elaborate right after, rather than just sending out a bunch of graphs that mean really nothing to the traders that don't know how to read them. So we can include safety nets, resistance levels, and kind of just elaborate a little bit more on what we're trying to say with the graph that we're sharing with everyone. The pre-market, you guys can put a name or a ticker symbol. It really doesn't mean much, especially to the new traders. So what I want to focus on is quality. And if I could focus on quality when it comes to pre-market movers, as in like, let's say, Apple, after they released a new phone, let's say for whatever reason, Apple's normal volume is at 100,000 right now. It's trending about 1 million. So your pre-market mover, it shows that it has a gap, which means that people are buying higher than what it closed at. And you can elaborate on that. Be like, look, Apple is trading at 100% more, 1,000% more than its normal volume. It's being sold at a 10% or at 10 cents over what it's usually traded at. And just with that, so we have a better understanding of what it is that we're trading, would really help out the new members. And I'm going to really start to try working on dividing this TechBuds up into different groups, so we can make sure that everyone like in TechBuds has someone they can reach out to, someone kind of like the manager of that group, for all the questions and stuff like that, because I feel the larger that we grow, the harder it is for me to reach out to everyone. And I feel like some people are being left behind because I can't get to all these questions that you guys are having, all these calls that I have to go through. I get about around 5 different members that request to add every day, which means that I have to schedule 5 calls, and I haven't been able to do that after I'm a full-time student. I work about 15 hours a day, and overall it's really hard being able to fit in TechBuds with everything that I have going on, especially with the larger it's growing. I feel like if we can assign managers. Like right now, we're sitting about 200 active members, I want to say. If we can split that up into like, 10 different managers that kind of manage just 20 different groups overall, I think we will have a better quality group. And then with those, the managers can ask me questions. And then if I can elaborate a little bit more, then that's where we're going to find really the success of being able to trade together as a group, and always having, I guess, a mentor within the group that you can reach out to that's a little bit more experienced than the traders that are just starting out. And something that I do want to focus on as well, or kind of just touch base on, is one of the questions that I get asked the most is, how much money should I be starting out with? And although we're doing this to make money, right, to make extra money, that's everyone mainly tells me that they want to make extra money on the side, that the main reason they're doing this is because they don't want to learn, they don't want to live a normal lifestyle. I think when they talk about, there's a quote from, I believe Warren Buffett says that the stock market is a transfer of money from the impatient to the patient, and that's very true. It doesn't matter about how much money you're starting out with, especially if you want to do this as a career. You should be very realistic and probably have a normal job for the meanwhile, as you're probably not going to be seeing a huge like return on your investment like right away, depending on how much money you're trading. I really don't think you could be doing this for like replacing a job until you get to the point where you can hit 10% gains 60 to 70% of the time, and you're trading with at least $1,000 to $2,000. With that, you're hitting at least $100 to $200 profit every day. It really depends on what your expenses are. If your goal is $500 a month, then you could probably do it with a $500 account. I'm just saying realistically, I don't want to promote false hope. I don't want to promote a get rich quick scheme. This is definitely not something I do as my main source of income. This is pretty much if I can make, 2,000, 4,000, 6,000 a month extra. I use the money I make through the stock market and I put it into a savings account that I use to buy my investment properties. That's why by age 21, I've been able to buy and, put certain down payments that are 20% for, $200,000 homes so frequently within a 6-month period, not because I make a huge amount of money, but because I'm very realistic, and within the time that I've been trading, I've been able to increase my success rate as well as increase my account. And I recently just increased my account from a risk account. So I trade now with $17,000, but at risk, I used to trade with only $2,000, and now I trade with $2,500, meaning that I'm making hopefully an extra $50 every single time I trade, shooting for that 10% profit. So something I want to make sure, even though I have a larger account, I only risk 10%, or I only risk 2,000 and now 2,500 every single time I trade, and I don't risk another 2,000 until I pull that $2,500 out. That's pretty much what's been working for me. I'm growing my account steadily, and every month now I want to grow it for another 500 and start risking another 500, as long as I continue hitting my goals of, my overall goal within a month is to hit a 100% return on investment at what my risk is. So my goal was usually just 2,000. If I exceeded that, great. Now it's 2,500, and I feel like I continue to exceed it. And with that, again, it's just extra money that I have sitting around for a reason. So make sure that you're doing this for a reason. Make sure that you're realistic. Set goals for yourself. I'd say, if your goal is $500 a month, you have to divide that up by, the amount of days or amount of weeks. So divided by 4, and then with that you divide it into the days, and so you can stay on track with what it is that you're trying to achieve. And I think that's the best way to treat it, and treat it as serious as you can, because the more realistic and the more serious you take it, the more successful you'll be, because now it's more of a job than just a hobby. And that's something that I really wanted to touch base on. So thank you guys again for hearing me out. Now I'm going to go and start doing the technical analysis, and I'll run through all the questions I'm being asked. So this is mainly from the GroupMe application that they've been asking. So Brandon says, what's the expected price target for IMNP? So let me go ahead and get that pulled up. IMNP is one that actually some of our traders have been trading. I've actually traded this one before. And again, if you guys have questions, please don't be shy. Feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions whatsoever. And I'm getting my technical analysis or my graph at least ready for IMNP. I'm going to show you kind of just a raw just graph and then kind of cut it down and show you guys how it is that I break it down and discover the safety nets and resistance levels and what it is that I look for. Make sure I close this out. All right. Okay, so let's go ahead and get right into it. So again, by Brandon, what is the expected price target for IMNP? Which I'm guessing is asking what's the expected buy-in price. So again, it all depends on how the day especially opens, because it could be opening lower than expected. But I'll run through kind of the resistance levels and the safety nets that I see, and kind of go into detail with that. So right now it's actually running pretty low. So if we look at the overall year to date for the stock itself, the lowest it's hit, if we run right under it, let's see, lowest is 20 cents. Right now we're at 28 cents, which isn't that much higher, honestly. So let's just go ahead and set safety nets right now. Safety nets, it looks like it holds itself pretty well. So overall, these are penny stocks. So if you look at penny stocks, they're always slowly just dropping, right? Looks like this one picked back up, and again, slowly dropping. Looks like there's a slight resistance right along here. Let's just put it, at 40 cents, and that's actually old safety nets. As you can see here, that it struggles to go below 40 cents, become new resistance levels now that it struggles to go above 40 cents. So now that we understand that, it looks like every 10 cents there tends to be a safety net and resistance level. So right now, there tends to be a resistance right around the 30-cent mark. So I'd say that is a critical point. If IMNP, if I'm not mistaken, we were trading this when it was at the 30-cent mark, when it hit 30 and almost hit 40 again, and that's when I told most of you that is a resistance. Ended up breaking the safety right there at 28 cents. So overall, if we get a little bit closer, understanding that within 6 months, even 6 months, it should be popping up. Yeah, there was a safety right here at 20 cents. Let's just say 20. It says 21, but most likely, 20 cents, since we like pretty numbers. Let's get a little bit closer and see where it's at right now. I'd say look into the company a little bit more. I know we're not really here to hold stocks, but it's always good to get a better understanding of what it is that the company is going through. If you want to just ensure you're buying, especially if you're a new trader, I'd say try to expand your knowledge when it comes to what it is that you're trying to buy in and buy out, and the reason you're buying in and buy out, and for it not to be such solely based on technical analysis, because these are good and these are helpful when you're trying to buy in and buy out real quick, but it could also take a pretty big shift if you're not up to date with the news, and you might not be expecting that. So again, let's make sure that we elaborate on the 3 rules. Only trade stocks that have 10% potential. Do not hold a penny stock overnight, so a stock that is under $1, and then as well as always having a stop loss to secure your losses, making sure that you can control how much money that it is that you lose. So obviously, just like I said, has a resistance right at 28 cents. I mean, at 30 cents, as it struggles to go above 30, as we could see right there, and 30 being an old safety, being a new resistance now. Seems that it catches pretty good at 25 cents. So I think on Monday and within the week that's coming on, we pretty much have to see how it opens and how it starts out. So it looks like there's light safety right there, so you might be able to catch it if that is 28 cents, and then write it up to 30. Doesn't look like it's sold fully at 30 cents. So I would say to not risk it. If the volume is right, it's going to break 30 and continue rising up. Again, if it breaks 30 and then you buy in at 30, making sure that the momentum keeps riding up, make sure you sell at 33 cents, because that is your 10%. It looks like it has resistance and safeties at every 10% of the stock itself. So I'd say if you can wait and be patient till 25, kind of set your alerts if it goes below 27, because when it goes below 27 based on the history, it always hits 25. So with that, that's actually an alert that I'm going to set. For those that don't know how to set alerts, let me see if it allows me. Yeah, we could actually set alerts here. So on my Fidelity application, which is the one I use on my mobile app, as well as on my technical analysis app. I'm going to say when it drops below 27 cents, I'm going to send an alert. So if you guys want to set these with me, please feel free. And also because 30 is a critical point, just because I want to hop on it really quickly, I'm going to put 29 when it goes above 29, as well as when it rises above 30, because that is a critical point. So when it rises above 30, then we understand, we're back in the game of that different level of trading. And it's pretty much a good buying area if it continues to hold above 30. I could sell at 33. And then if it rises above 33, just so I know that I could sell there. And then if it drops below, since that's overall at least low right now, if it drops below 25. And I'm going to send this to my Fidelity application. And I'll send it to my email. Complete setup. And then we'll let that send itself. So for Robinhood is one of the worst apps you could possibly use for doing technical analysis, as I don't even think it's possible. And they don't have the tool to set, alerts. So that's where you kind of have to look for different tools. Fidelity is a great one, and they have a great platform when it comes to doing technical analysis. They have a shitty platform when it comes to doing live trading, as they charge you if you don't have a PC. Because if I have a Mac myself. So because of that, they charge me for Active Trader Pro or whatever it is. So I use TD Ameritrade for the live platform. All right, so going back to this, these are pretty much the 3 levels that I've discovered, from 25 to 28, from 28 to 30, and then from 30, we can just set at 33. So with that, that's mainly what I'd say keep your eyes out for. Again, we're day traders. Make sure that you buy in through the low points of these areas, and understand that all these could be broken. All these safety nets could be broken, and make sure you trade according to that, making sure you set your stop losses and do not hold overnight. I know there's one trader that held overnight. They were up about 3% after markets, but that honestly does not mean anything, because if the market does not open the same way that it was trading during market hours, it served you no purpose whatsoever. So let's just make sure that we set ourselves for success, and that we're realistic with what we trade. And it's way better being able to secure your gains even if you're up just 1%, rather than being in the red and holding overnight and not being able to control how much money you're losing. So that's it for IMNP. Let me see what the next message is. Okay, SKLN. Let's go ahead and take a look. Actually, just look it up right here. This one's through from one of our traders, Marco. So obviously, I actually do remember, I believe, when this happened, when it had that huge drop, when it was trading above $3. This is why you don't trade penny stocks, because sometimes penny stocks, like most of us that were trading within the past 3 months, know that Eagle is a true penny stock. It was trading at $3. And if we search up Eagle right now, it's trading above $7, and it's hit highs of whatever it is that it's saying that it hit. That is complete BS. What Eagle does, or what this company did, was actually just split its stocks. Instead of having, for example, 1,000 stocks, now it has 100. Therefore, it increases its share per value, which is complete bullshit. And it's something that I've discovered when it comes to trading penny stocks, that even some stocks are inflated to be considered, not pink sheets, and therefore traders, hold them overnight and don't treat them like penny stocks, because penny stocks are obviously, I guess I don't want to say that word abused, but they're taking advantage of, their pump and dumps, and overall, that's why people say stocks that are under $5 could be considered penny stocks, because of those that do the split of dividends or the split of shares. Can pump them up to certain prices that they cannot be considered penny stocks. But overall, SKLN was trading above or below. And I remember this day that it was trading at 8 cents, and all of a sudden it just shot up after they announced a huge partnership. It hasn't officially been confirmed, and there's been some speculation, but it's been holding pretty well above 16 cents. Honestly, I'd say be prepared for the drop for SKLN. Again, these are true penny stocks, and if it dropped from $3 to $4 all the way down to a matter of cents, I can assure you that it dropping from 18 cents down to 8 cents is not far-fetched for SKLN. And it really just needs some newsletter. So what I'd say is, go for it, trade it. The volume is amazing when it comes to SKLN. Do not hold it overnight, as it is very unpredictable. It is amazing that, one day you could be down, 8 cents, and next day up, the full 100% at that 16-cent mark. But it is the worst feeling when you're at 16 cents and it drops to 8 cents. It possibly continues to drop to 4 cents, losing, half your money or 75% of your money. If you're trading with $1,000, $5,000, $100, whatever it is, secure your gains realistically. You're gonna ride more stocks down if you hold them overnight than riding them up and being lucky. And that's just from my experience. I mean, you guys trade however you guys feel comfortable. I'm just saying realistically, it is my suggestion to not hold overnight, as in the long run it's going to be more beneficial to your career in trading penny stocks. But for SKLN, I'd say just by looking at it and just by knowing where my alerts are triggered, this is pretty much the main area, the main focus area of where it trades. 16 cents, above 16 cents, anything below 19 cents. That would be considered a better area of or a higher area of trading for SKLN. It's trading kind of in the higher, being at 17.61, a little bit above the medium of this level of trading. I'd say if you're going to ride this, make sure you ride it well. Make sure you ride it at that low 16 cent point, and then ride it up. Since this is a stock that's 16 cents, to hit your 10% only has to be, 1.5 cents to be able to lock in your 10%. But what that means is, if it drops 1.5 cents or 2 cents, then you're also down, 10 to 15%. So make sure you take that into consideration. But for SKLN, I'd say this one, I tried to stay away from penny stocks that are below 20 cents, just because they're a little bit too volatile for me. And although I've been able to predict these jumps, with the amount of money that I'm trading with, I just wouldn't feel comfortable if it were to take that dip. For like most of us that have experienced it, sometimes when you set stop losses, if the people that are selling have a higher volume of stocks that are selling at the same time that you're selling, and they're selling for a lower price, they will get filled. And if the price continues to drop during that time, then it will not trigger your stop loss, because it actually passed it. When the volume is so high, it is very unpredictable, and unfortunately some of our traders have experienced that because of just volume being too high and it continues to drop, like these pump and dumps. So you want to make sure that you keep it realistic. You set your stop losses close to the 5% point, just so you can avoid regret. But that's my analysis essentially for SKLN. I'd say a better buying area would be above 16 cents, and a good sell point would be around 18 to 19 cents, as just being able to lock in those gains. Now I'm going to go down the list again. Okay, SEYX. Those that want to join our group, I mean, you guys feel free to join the group, the Facebook application. The GroupMe application is a little bit more for more of the serious and active day traders. So if you think that you'd like to be a part of that, or direct message me through Facebook, through YouTube, or through any social media application where I can kind of do a little, pretty much I do a little screening on your account, making sure, and I ask you a question, making sure that, I want to make sure that everyone promotes a positive environment when it comes to being within the group. I want to make sure that you participate and give back to those, as well as those that are sharing the same information, some valuable information. So I just don't want it to be, just the take. I want it to be a give and take, and for us to be able to benefit one another with the knowledge we share. So SEYX. Let's see. Okay, so year to date, obviously safety way down there. Right now it's been picking up, but what I could see is there's a strong resistance right there, as well as kind of where it's hitting, which is right there. And the reason I say there's a resistance, because the price is right here at $3.92, so it looks like there's a resistance passing $4, which means that SEYX tends to hit $4 and then drops back down, or it struggles to go above it. Based on the history of this being an old safety net, as it struggled to go below it, then that can give you pretty much the better understanding of why it struggles to go above it now, as these are critical points. I'd pretty much say is based on this level of trading, it looks like it's been doing pretty well for the past couple of months. If it continues to rise and breaks $4 and continues to hold, just know that you can trade according to these different levels. Me personally, I would wait till it drops down a little bit more. It looks like it has a stronger safety right here around the 261 area, and it has a slight safety right here around the $2 area. So with that being said, I'll go a little bit more into it. And it's just too high for me right now. This is definitely not a penny stock, and I don't think it's something that this is like my LPCN. LPCN is one that I do tend to hold overnight because it trades within $3 to $4, since it's not considered necessarily a penny stock. And it's one that used to trade above $20 or at $20. So I had a pretty big drop, but overall, it's one that I trust pretty well when I buy it at that low point. So you could pretty much determine this area right here around anything under $2 based on when it goes below the $3 mark. It tends to pick back up. Went below it, hit around 260, and then picked back up. So make sure you're trading according to the previous safety nets and resistance levels. Right now we're trading at 390. Again, struggled to go above $4, as you can see right here. Now it's struggling to go above 390, so I think it's showing downward momentum now that we can see that. So I'd say be kind of patient. It looks like it has a safety right here. So I'd say set your alerts on when it goes below 75, as that was a resistance level, and then drop back down, as I think that when it drops, it could pick up again at 375, but then you have to be realistic. All right, if you're buying a stock at 375 and only trading stocks that have 10% potential, that only gives you a 25% or 25 cent potential gain, which isn't your goal of 10%. But again, it is close. I'd just say it struggles again to go above $4. Or realistically, be patient, buy in, make sure that when you buy in that you're preparing yourself for success. And I think if you're trying to prepare yourself for success when it comes to SEYX, you should be trading when it's below $3, as that seems to be a better area of a buy-in, and it tends to pick up more often when you buy in down there, and then you can write it up for a couple of days. But this is definitely not a penny stock. So if you look at the amount of gains it has, even through this couple of days of trading, if you wanted to day trade this, let's say you're buying at the low points at 275, you'd be selling at the high point of $3. That's pretty much that's close to your 10%. And then now above $3, and then it closed. Let's see. At 330 again, 10%, and then from 345 to 360. So then there's where it starts losing that 10% potential up here. So I'd say the 220s, the 260 areas, the 250 areas, and the 2 areas seem to be a better buy. And I'd set my alerts. So what I can do for SEYX, I'm going to set my alerts. And I'm going to set my alert when it goes below $3, as I'd feel more comfortable buying in. But again, we said that $4 is a resistance, so when it rises above $4, that could also be a potential buy-in, as it tends to pick back up after it passes $4, or when it drops below 260 was a safety we saw, and then drops below 275 was another kind of resistance that I saw. And then if it drops below $3, then we're in some serious trouble, y'all. And we'll let that set. All right, so that's my analysis, and then now we have a couple of, and we're hitting that 30-minute mark. So for those that were able to join us, thank you guys again so much. I'm going to continue trying to filter through some of these. I'm going to do a little bit quicker, but if you guys have any questions, again, feel free to ask me, and then I can get them to you personally if I don't get to them through the video. So NW, oh man, he's got quite a bit. You're not too. I'm a little greedy. Just kidding. It's our buddy Julian, NWBO. Don't think I've ever heard of that. NWBO. So again, this isn't one that I've ever traded. Oh, actually, wait, yes, it is. It's not one that I've traded, but it's one that I've seen before. So I'll do this one for you, and then I'll do another technical analysis for you later. But pretty much, change the settings. This one's really volatile. Wow. Kind of plateaued for a little bit and then started spiking up. And this is where you would have to trade according to history. So you could expand this and start saying that, look, based on the history, that you could see a resistance or a safety at that pretty much 40-cent mark, right? Safety there, and then there's a safety there as it catches. And then there's a resistance right here at that 75-cent mark, right? Or we could even say 70 as it struggled to go above 70 in these points right there, you see? So with that, now we can go month. And we have the same thing, we just open our frequency, and they're still there. Now I'm going to set it right there, and the reason I set it right there, even though it's not touching this, the reason I want you guys, or what I want you guys to catch up or catch on, or make sense of, is that, look, this stock struggles to go above a certain point and then drops back down. Why? That is a resistance level, right? Let's just call it 35 cents. No, not 35, around 36 cents, as it struggles to go above 36 cents. But then when it passes 36 cents, now it struggles to go below it. These are what we call, old resistance become new safeties, and old safeties become new resistance levels. So with that, now it's trading at 550, which kind of is the median of this level of trading. So what I'd say, it tends to catch, as you can see right here, right along that 50-cent mark. It holds above 50 cents. So when it drops to 50, picks back up, drops to 50, picks back up, drops to 50. But now it's been plateauing around that 50-cent mark. So with this, based on my knowledge and my previous, trades, I'd say that it's getting ready to drop below 53 cents. Okay. So with that is now be prepared to buy in more at that 37-cent mark, as this is an old safety. So wait for the drop. So what I'm going to do for NWBO, I'm going to go back to my Fidelity application. Again, it's very repetitive. That's what a lot of people don't expect when it comes to trading penny stocks. They think it's a bunch of fun because you make a lot of money. This is one of the most boring things, especially when there's no volume, or if you're losing money and there's no volume. It's one of the most frustrating things. And again, this is where it comes to being patient to impatient. And if you want to be I guess ones that make profit or don't. So you trade according to when you based on the history. See good buying areas. So when we look at NWBO, we tend to say that when it drops below 53 cents, when it hits 37 cents, based on the history around 40 cents, it tends to pick back up. When it drops below 40 cents, or when it hits 53 cents, it tends to pick back up. But based on it plateauing so often, I'm thinking it's most likely gonna pass this safety and continue dropping down as it did right here. It kind of plateaued for a little bit and then dropped down. It also did it here and then picked up. So I think just because it's already done it before, most likely it's going to repeat this and now drop back down. Doesn't mean that it's always going to catch at that 37 or 40 cent mark. I'd say just prepare for it. So I'm going to set my alerts when it drops below 53 cents, when it drops below 50 cents, when it drops below 45 cents, and then when it drops below 37 cents, just so I know where it is that NWBO is throughout the week. So drops below, drops below. So again, the first thing is 53, second is 50, 45, 40, 37, right? And again, for those that want to ride it when it goes up, I don't really care to ride it when it goes up based on me not knowing this one too much. I'd rather buy in at the better binaries or when it tends to pick up more often. But you could put when it rises above 55 cents. And actually, which one kind of seems irrelevant. I'll do this one now when it rises 55 cents, as that's showing upward momentum, and it can continue to rise to at least the 60-cent mark. And from 55 to 60, that's 10%. So we lock in our profits. Now, when you're trading, with $1,000, $2,000, that's $100 to $200 within just being able to understand how to read this. So hopefully you found that helpful, Mr. Julian. NBLX. NBLX. It's trading at 40 cents. No, this one's not that bad. So overall, safety right there. Resistance, the one that's pretty realistic, is right along here. Let's just put it at $1, as that's kind of safety. Now a new resistance, safety around 26 cents. Right now trading from 26 to 40. Let's see, let's get a little bit closer. 3 month. Looks like there's a slight resistance at 40. So what that means is this could pretty much be a breaking point. So when it passes 40, that could send it shooting up, just like it did here, to 65. But again, realistically, wait for those better buying areas around 26 to 30 cents. So let's just get a little bit closer to where it's trading right now. Volume isn't really there, and for those that don't know how to read this, the ones that are dashes, the reason that they don't have the candlestick or it's not filled is because of volume, or that the market price staying at the same exact price, meaning people aren't buying and selling, or there wasn't able to be much of a movement during those minutes. And again, this is 30 minutes, so within 1, 2, 3, 4, that's 2 hours of trading. It stayed strictly at 3 or 31.2 cents. But yeah, so right now, well, it looks like the volume isn't really picking up when it passes 40 cents. So what I'd say is realistically, it's going to take a drop. And based on the history, it tends to take a drop pretty quickly from 40 to 30, and then it picks back up. You want to make sure that you don't get caught in buying a load amount of shares, or just a large amount of shares, and not be able to sell all of them. And by the time you sell all of them, you're riding the price down yourself. So this one really wouldn't be my area of opportunity based on the volume and how low it is. But I'd say if I were to be trading this, I'd feel more comfortable trading this when it's around the 28-cent area, as that is a better buying area for myself. So that is my analysis on NBLX. All right. Stock screeners and how do you find stocks? All right, so I mainly find stocks. Let's see. Okay, so I mainly find the penny stocks that I trade. GroupMe, like the group that I started, has found now about 50% of the stocks that I trade. A lot of the penny stocks, when you get into the market, actually get delisted, and it gets you in the search for new stocks. So what it is that, Techbud Solutions has been a huge tool that I've been able to use to discover new stocks, since we have a wide variety of traders that look through different forums, that look through different, kind of pre-market movers and market gainers through the day. They kind of share that information with us, and with that, it exposes us to new opportunity. And I kind of just look them up. If they ask me questions, I'll do a technical analysis on, like I did right now on NBLX. Because I just did that technical analysis, it exposed me to a stock that I would have never discovered, at least in the current state that I was in, other than someone reaching out to me asking me that question. So I'd say a huge area of opportunity for those that don't know how to discover new stocks is kind of just look at the stocks that we're talking about. We tend to talk about, 10 different stocks within a day, add them to your watch list and do your own analysis, and kind of just, you guys at Fidelity has a thing called market movers. They have the market gainers and the market losers. I always look at market losers because those are the ones that are so much in the red that the only, like, not the only way that they can move, but a majority of them the following day end up going up. If you see penny stocks, every time they have huge green days, when it's a true penny stock, and they have huge green days, they have huge red days the day after. Same with penny stocks. When they have huge red days, the day after, they tend to have a little bit more of a possibility to go up. And with that, that is where I find my biggest area of opportunity. I look through as many applications as I can. Now I mainly stick to market movers as the biggest losers and the biggest gainers, and I add those to my watch list, and I kind of share that with you. But Techbud has been a huge, if not 75% of what I trade now is because of this group, and because of, Jetson is a huge trader in our group, and he's the one that shares so much information and is so in depth with the companies that he invests in. And there's also another investor or day trader in our group that asked me, I believe his name is Marco, asked me, is it wrong to reach out to a company that, or ask them questions if you're considering buying their stock? That is so great. That you have to think, when you become, if you ever get the opportunity to become a huge, I guess, day trader, a huge investor, like Warren Buffett, they visit locations, they visit facilities, they visit these stocks that we trade, do their analysis, look at just their management overall, and determine based on what they experience, what they value the stock, and based on their analysis on what they experienced that day, kind of will trigger what it is that they value and what it is that they buy it and they hold to sell at a certain point until it gets to that point. So, feel free to call these different companies, ask as many questions as you can, try to discover as many tools as you can to make you feel the most secure about the decision you're about to trade. I don't care if it's $10, I don't care if it's $10 million. Like, I don't like losing anything. Obviously, I'd like to lose, 10 compared to 10 million, but it's just the principle. No one wants to lose money, and if you can take an extra step to give you peace of mind and to assure you that the decision you're going to make to invest in a certain company is a little bit more realistic and a little bit more of a possibility to be successful, then so be it. Do it. It's not something that you have to ask me. I mean, I'm so glad that you guys asked me those type of questions, because now I just like, okay, well, now I can call these different companies. All these different companies are legit companies. You can call and Google search them, get an office number, and speak to someone there and be like, look, you can ask them for disclaimers, kind of look a little bit more into their business, and based on different businesses and how they used to. I feel like pharmaceutical companies are a huge area of opportunities because they're very repetitive, and what it is that they have succeeded in. A lot of other pharmaceutical companies tend to make the same mistakes, and with that is, if you see, it just comes with experience. If you see a certain pharmaceutical company going in the route of another one based on a mistake that it previously made, then you can make your decision. All right, this one's going to take a dip. Don't ride the dip. Let it dip. Buying at the low points and then sell at the high point, because based on your history, you're able to do that same analysis on a previous company, or you're able to analyze that, but you were not able to hop into that certain stock because you weren't aware of it. But now, based on your experience and based on your knowledge, you're able to hop in on this later company and ride it up based on pretty much just the exposure or the knowledge that you've experienced. So yeah, I don't use stock screeners. Something that we've been looking at are gap gainers, which means like pre-market gainers, and that's something that Schwab does offer. And that's for one of my buddy, John Dolan. He's one that has one of those scanners, and that's something that I'm probably going to use a little bit later. But as of now, I like to trade stocks that I can analyze a little bit more than just 10 minutes. I don't feel like I'm there yet as a trader, where I can kind of determine volume and depth and just the stock overall based on the history, and kind of determine where the buy and where the sell points are. So I feel more safe trading stocks that I know, their trends, and kind of trading, even if, if I see 10% potential and I lock them in at, 5-8%, then I'm still in the green. I'm still trading at a higher success rate than most traders, and realistically, with what I'm trading and what I'm risking, I tend to see a higher return in my investment. So that's just kind of my input. Okay, so AJ, you said SKLN. I actually went through that one, and I'm guessing. Oh man, it's got quite a bit. SKLN. Let me make sure I don't skip that one. All right, Marco. Because I went through SKLN, I'll go through NAVX with you later, just because I've talked to you a little bit more, just so I can get through ONTX and H. Now let me go through what you said first. HTBX. HTBX. Oh. HTBX. And for those that don't know, I've been making a lot of car videos. I'm actually now working with a new company, and that they tend to have quite a bit of exotic cars. So you guys can stay tuned to that. If you guys can subscribe and like those videos, I would really appreciate it. If you guys can share it, then that would be that'd help me out so much. But yeah, I'm really excited. We're going to be doing some test rides with Ferraris, Lamborghinis, and McLarens, and Audi R8s, and it's going to be really exciting. So stay tuned for that. But let's get back into trading penny stocks. Oh crap, I'm not sharing my screen. Alrighty guys, so this is pretty much what I'm looking at. HTBX has a safety at 131, resistance at 145. Not necessarily, yeah, that's 10%. This kind of reminds me of IMNP, which is one that we trade quite often, which pretty much has the same resistance and safety nets. Year to date, it hasn't held very well above $1, and now it has, but it's traded below $1. It's held above 50 cents. So let's just take that into consideration. Personally, I would not feel comfortable holding this one overnight, as based on the history, has had big drops, and this one looks like it could be taken advantage of, as there's huge pump and dumps. But it's had pretty big drops from the 150 down to the $1 mark. So just take that into consideration when you're trading this one. So this is pretty much what I see right here. So if you can hop in on the low points and the volume seems right, and sell at the high points of 145, as it has done, through the 13th and the 14th of September. And also it's done it from the 8th of September, and almost did it here in the 7th, but just opened the following day. I'd say the volume, it's trading too high right now. I'm going to set my alerts when it passes 145, as this can be a new trading area, but also set my alerts when it drops below 140 and 135, as 130 to 135 would be a better buying area, and 140 to 145 would be a better sell point for myself. So I'm going to go to here, set alerts. Drops below, rises above, drops below. So when it drops below, right now it's trading at 149, 144. So when it drops below 140, when it drops below 135, when it rises above 150, when it drops below 130. Then 160, let's just put that. All right. Oh, of course. Thank you, Afghan. Or Afshin. I apologize. Afshin. ONTX. Actually, ONTX is one I've traded before, and actually one that I've shut it out quite often. And the reason why is because it tends to be in a good buying area. At least that's what I would. Yeah, and it had a pretty good, it had a pretty good week last week. So overall, or I don't want to just hop right into it for those that haven't seen it before. Year to date, pretty much at a 52-week low, right? 52-week low. being at this low point of 263, which is an area that I've called out if you guys look at our last Sunday stock talk, and has a resistance at $4. This is pretty much what we care about. Old safety nets become new resistance levels, old safety being at $4, new resistance at $4. New safety at 265, so if it drops below 265, what does that mean? It is a new resistance. I'm really repetitive with that stuff, so I can bug the crap out of you guys. It just gets drilled into your head, so you guys make less mistakes and more money. And that's really what I care about, making sure that you guys maximize, your profit, even though you guys think I'm super annoying and repetitive. Let's just put that into perspective and then put a support or a resistance right around 316 as it struggles to go above it. So I'd say a better buying area would be around 265 to 275 to 265. Better buying areas, better sell points within $3 to $3.15. This seems to be one that smooths a little bit slower. So I'd say, look, when we trade through Robinhood, if you used all your day trades and it's trading, at 370 and you see it picking up, you know that you could hold this one overnight and most likely you won't lose any money. So with that, if you have a better buying area, and you're not going to be able to buy for the next 3 days, and then write it up for the next 3 days, and at least you maximize your profit. It's what I tend to do with LPCN when I'm out of day trades, and what I'm going to do with ONTX is based on the current place that it's at right now, that it's trading at. I'm going to set my alerts, obviously, when it passes 315, as that is a critical point, and it could put us at a new trading area, but also when it drops below $3, because that's when it's going to get into our area of play, and I'm going to consider buying it again. And then safety at 365. Let's go ahead and set that up. So set my alerts. So again, drops below $3, drops below 280, drops below 270. If it drops below the overall safety 52-week low at 260. Also, when it rises above 315, as that is a current resistance. Set the alerts, send them out, and then trade according to that. So only trade when they're in your areas of opportunity. Of course, AJ, and of course, Cyrus. Cyrus, actually, he's a new guy that, a new member. He goes to ASU. He's one of our new members, and he seems like he's been trading before. He's just made a couple mistakes, and he feels that, we could be a type of tool he could use to better improve his skills when it comes to day trading. And I'm just really excited to have him on the team. So yeah, feel free to welcome him. If you guys haven't so already, you make sure you guys join the different groups that we have. And I hate to be the guy that tells you if you guys can like and subscribe and do all that stuff. But if you guys can do that, it really does end up helping me out, as it gives me a better understanding of what it is, what kind of content it is that you guys like. My car videos tend to be the ones that have like tens of thousands of views. And my technical analysis and my stock videos tend to have less views. So it's harder for me to understand what it is that you guys like when it comes to actual content that I create for you guys, as in my technical analysis, Sunday stock talks. And I recommend, honestly, I'm all open ears. I love new ideas. If you guys feel like I can do something that just for yourself that I can do that would benefit you a little bit more, why not ask? Like, what are you guys going to lose? Ask any questions. Ask me what I can create or what you think that I could possibly do for you guys to make, you starting out, trading and joining this group a way better experience, and just help you learn a lot easier and a lot better. I'm here for you guys. I'm a tool that you guys can utilize to your fullest potential. And even though I'm busy, and even though I take a while to respond, honestly, I love speaking to you guys. I love feeling important, and like in a sense that I can benefit you guys. I'm really focused when it comes to my own work. But if I can help you guys out in any way, just know that that's why I started this group. That's why I get up every morning at 6 a.m. to wake you guys up with all those alerts. So I'm really excited for this week to come. We have a lot of content coming for car videos, and it's something that we've really never done before. We have, but it's going to be getting more to the vlog and more to like different just videos. And I'm really excited. The guys from SMG are really cool. So that's Scottsdale Motor Group, and they have amazing cars and stuff like that. So I'm just really excited and so blessed to be given that opportunity. And then when it comes to day trading, just keep it consistent, keep it realistic, and set yourself for success. And that's really just it. So thank you guys again for joining us. This is pretty much a 55-minute video. So thank you for all those that kind of held through. And I know for those on the East Coast, it's pretty late out there. So get some rest. Make sure we shut the morning off right. And if you guys can like, subscribe, and share this video, then thank you guys. And I hope you guys have a nice Sunday night and take care. Bye.